Hi everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name is Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. I'm going to take you through something today which I absolutely love. A staple anytime I'm in a tapas restaurant or over in Spain is the tortilla. But I wanted to really make it the star of the show. Just have the tortilla. I don't need it as a tapas. It's perfectly good on its own. So I've added a few extra ingredients just to kind of bring some extra flavours in there. So I'm going to take you through that now. So we're going to start really simply with our potatoes. So you just want to get about 3 medium-sized potatoes and slice them to about 1/2 centimetre thick. So we've got decent slices all the way through. Try and keep them round, just makes it look nicer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them over a bit of salted water and boil them up for about 3 minutes until they're done. Now you want quite waxy potatoes for this. So things like your Maris Piper that you'd use for a chip probably won't work as well because you want that little bit of bite in there. So I'll get cracking with those and then I'll bring you back and we'll see what we're doing next. Catch you then. I've done my potatoes now. They boiled for about 4 minutes, cut them a bit thicker than I intended to. And then all I'm going to do is leave them there with the lid off, so I've drained them, and that steam will dry the potatoes out so you won't get any liquid in the bottom when you try and build your tortilla. So now we can get on to what goes in it. So we're going to start with the herbs just so I can get the ball clear. We're going to put in about 1 tablespoon of chives, chopped right down. There we go. So with that, herb wise, we've got about 1 tablespoon of thyme leaves, which I've picked off earlier just because it takes forever, so I want to save myself some time. Yeah. And then we're going to add that, all of our chives. We'll just keep these together, they're all going to go in at the same time. Here we go, so there's all my herbs. So next thing we want is our onion. We're going to cut this pretty much the same as with the potatoes, so into about 1/2 centimetre wide. We're going to do full semicircles, so you want half a large onion or 1 medium one. We just chop those into those semicircles. There we go, so that's my onions done. Now the chorizo. I'm going to use 100 grams of this, which isn't actually a lot. So this is just a shop bought chorizo ring. I've knocked off 100 grams of that. And what we need to do first is we need to remove that outer skin. So we just slice down the side. This is probably a very dangerous way of doing it. And then you can just pull that outer skin off. Do the same with the second one. I'll be a bit more sensible about this and put it on the board. There we go. So the reason we do that is just if you try and cook it with that skin on, the skin doesn't contract, whereas the meat does. And it just doesn't work. So what more to say about that one? So now we're going to chop these up into quite small bits. So I'm just going to go through rings and then chop those down. So we've got, again, 1/2 centimetre, essentially little cubes. There we go, so that's now done. We've got lots of little small nuggets of chorizo, which would be great because they'll just run through the hole now. So last thing we need to chop up here is our red pepper. You can use yellow pepper, green pepper. So I'm just going to use half of one. So we're going to do exactly the same thing we did with the chorizo. We're going to cut that down to about the same sort of size. There we go, so that's everything, chopped ingredients we're going to put in. The last thing we need to prep is our eggs. This is an omelette after all. So we're going to use 4 eggs for this one. Ooh, no shout. Oh, 2 for 2. And 3. It's got to be some hiding in there. Oh, this one will. Gently, gently. That is amazing. There's not a bit of shell in there. That's brilliant. Okay, so now I'm going to take you over. I can't believe that. Now I'm going to take you over to the hob. We're going to start putting everything together. See you in a sec. Okay, so here we are. All ready, all prepped, got all my ingredients. Bring my pan up to temperature. We're just going to put a tablespoon or half a tablespoon of olive oil in. That's a tablespoon. And then to that, we add our chorizo. We're going to cook that until it's, I wouldn't say crunchy, but until it's changed. Essentially, you'll see it will start to darken, it will shrink up, and you'll get a nice sort of crisper outside to it. So we'll leave that going on a reasonably high heat, then we'll add everything else in. Okay, so they're now crisped up nicely. Yeah, they've changed colour and got a slight browning to the outside. So this is the point where we turn it right down. If it's too hot, take it off the heat for a bit once you do this, but the onions should cool it. We just slide our onions in. Do a bit of a sizzle. It's a bit warm, so just take it off the heat. Okay. And we'll put that back on. Now we're just going to sweat those onions down. So you want it on a low heat until they're all much more pliable. So I'll leave those doing and I'll come back to you then. Okay, so our onions are now getting pretty pliable. So now it's the point we want to add in our red pepper and our herbs. Going to give that a stir around and then still on that low heat, just to soften the pepper slightly, we're going to leave it for about another 3 minutes. We don't want the pepper to go too soft because I like that bit of crunch in there. So there we go, the onions will continue to sweat down a bit more and the pepper will just soften slightly. So I'll see you in about 3 minutes. Right, that's now been cooking down for those 3 minutes. So we're just going to turn the heat off there. Take it off the heat. Now we're going to layer in our potatoes. So what we want to do is we've got our dry potatoes. Try and do this by hand. Let's just layer these in. You want, some of them will break up, it's not a problem. You want a good mix. Fold them over a bit just to get all of that stuff mixed around. We'll keep layering this up until we've got quite a lot in the pan. And then we'll add in our eggs. Okay, so that's now all mixed around. It's great, I've got a couple of little scrappy bits left in there, but I'm not going to worry about those. What we don't want to do is seal it off entirely. You want to be able to get things through, because what we're going to do now, once I've washed my hands, is add in our eggs. So I'm just going to go and do that and I'll be back. Brilliant, so that's all there. Now we've got our 4 eggs. And what we need to do with these is just add a little bit of salt and pepper in there, and then give them a beat up. Cool. So now we've got our hob back on. Get that going again. Still quite a hot pan anyway, so I should come back up to temperature really fast. Yep. Can hear it. and then pour our egg mixture in. Now if we spread that out nicely, that will run through all of those holes, it'll run around the outside and it will get underneath. If you've got any bits on top that are sticking up, just give them a push down. There we go, turn that right down. And give it a cook off. So we're going to leave that on a lowish heat for about 4 or 5 minutes. So what you're looking for is it's going to cook the egg to almost halfway through, and then we get into the potentially really scary part of this. So I'm going to leave that for 4 minutes and I'll come back to you. Praying. Brilliant. So that should now be cooked on one side, but you've still got a wobble of egg on the top. So when I said this is the scary bit, this is the very scary bit. So I'm going to try and do this the proper traditional way. This could go terribly, terribly wrong. After the egg incident, it probably will. So what we want to do, so we'll leave the heat on, is we want to slide that gently onto the plate. It's not perfect. Get all of the bits on there. Then we can just move those bits on top. Take our saucepan, place it over the top, grab it and turn it. With any luck, yes, that is back in the pan. If you don't fancy that, and that is quite a terrifying thing, that one wasn't perfect, it's happened a lot better before. Just whack it under the grill. A much, much easier way of doing it. Turn your grill on. As long as your pan can handle a bit of heat, which it's bouncy. On an open grill, not in a closed one, just slide under there. We're going to do the same, 4 minutes, and that will cook everything up perfectly well. I just enjoy doing it this way because it's a bit more exciting. So we'll leave that for 4, and then yeah, we can serve it up and go. See you set. Right, so here we are, all done. It's had its 4 minutes. Give it a quick shake, loosen it up. And then it's time to serve it. Now you can try and slide it out again, but actually at this point I think it's probably safer just to do the flipping thing again. So we'll turn that off. I'm going to regret this so much. Right, got board on top, turn it out. Apologies for the huge thing, and there it is, our Spanish tortilla. I can wipe that somewhere you can see it without burning the board. And there, this should serve 2. You can just cut through, serve perfect slices. Tortilla. Absolutely wonderful. Hope you give it a go. It's a bit of an adventure. Just make sure you've got a right size pan, sloping sides. If it's too deep, you could be in trouble. Otherwise, use the grill method, it works just as well. Hope you try it, hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.